are going to your phone calls and a host of other news items here in just a minute or two. I wanted to first tell all the radio listeners and PrisonPlanet.tv viewers watching us right now, as we simulcast the radio show as a television show, that we have all the Obama shirts in, 8 different varieties of Obama with the iconic Joker paint as the psychopathic criminal that he is for the New World Order, lying about everything. Everything he says is a complete lie. Even worse than Bush when it comes to lying. Bush actually did a few of the things he said he would do. It was just what he was doing was unconstitutional. These are all available at Infowars.com. You can also print off the free flyers, and I would suggest you put them in legal, lawful places. That's wherever you see a bunch of other posters an inch thick in your city center or wherever. If they come after you for that, that's selective enforcement. They're thugs. And they're trying to intimidate everybody and say you better not do it. That's because they're scared of it. Meanwhile, the president tells his supporters, the Washington Post, we have that linked up on Infowars.com, to go out and put his image everywhere. The iconic Hope image where he's like Mao Zedong or Lenin looking off into the distance, thinking about the property he's going to steal from people. So that is available. Again, at Infowars.com, you get the T-shirts or call toll-free, 888-253-3139. We also have films like the Obama Deception available, In-Game, Terror Storm, all the other great books and videos we carry at Infowars.com. You can also call toll-free to get them, 888-253-3139. And thanking a few of the sponsors that have made today's show possible. The best storable foods company in the nation also has the best prices I found. The food is packed every day, every week. None of it is old. Most of the other companies, because I bought from 2 or 3 others, I guess more than 2, it's embarrassing. It was ancient 5, 10, 15-year-old crap or sea rations from Vietnam. This is brand new, non-GMO, non-hybrid. And it's high quality right here in America. Only thing not grown here is the tropical bananas. But those are non-GMO. So efoodsdirect.com, the letter E, foodsdirect.com. In this crazy world, folks, you need storable foods. This is 55% off grocery store prices. Check out the free videos online at efoodsdirect.com or big banners up on Infowars.com if you forget the web address. And the toll-free number is 800-409-5633. You can call and get a free brochure. 800-409-5633. And with all the things coming up, the martial law, the government hyping the flu, I hope none of this happens. But you got governors and senators talking about it now and saying they may use it for martial law. You're insane if you don't have firearms and food. efoodsdirect.com or 800-409-5633. And then lastly, Diginet personal audio video recorders. The website is diganet.net. Now, I just last year bought the very same digital video audio recorder pen they have for like $150 to sneak into the Bilderberg Group meeting. And it's a great pen, but I paid 3 times as much. They are a huge bulk seller, one of the leaders out there. That's how they do it. They got a bunch of other systems, little hidden cameras that go in your car that are very reliable and wire into just a memory card hidden in the car where you hit one button and you can record the police when they pull you over or anybody else for that matter. Very, very useful to protect yourself and admissible in court. Diginet.net. Fight fire with fire. Use Big Brother against Big Brother. Diginet.net. Diganet.net. Diginet.net. I want to thank those sponsors for making the show possible. Be sure and support our local sponsors, AM and FM stations and others that carry the show. Support them as well. They make it all possible. Without them, we wouldn't be here. Okay, coming up when I start the next hour, we've got Ambassador Alan Keyes scheduled. Just to let you know about that. And there's a claymation somebody did of a good rant I did. So we're going to play that coming up at the end of this hour. Bob, you ready to take some calls?
I sure am.
Awesome. Let's go ahead and talk to Dee in Arizona. Dee, you're on the air.
Hi, Alex. How are you? This is Deetra in Tempe.
I have a question for you two gentlemen. But first I wanted to thank you. You guys are doing a great job getting all the information out. It's just I wish more people would wake up. It's frustrating to see people around you just walking around in a daze, you know. My question is, I understand that, we're supposed to be the people and they're supposed to take out votes and get our opinions and things like that. And obviously that's not happening. You don't have to be a genius to see that. But what happened to, like, making citizens arrests and impeaching people from Congress and actually, getting them out of office and getting people in there who can do something? Who's in charge?
All right, let me comment on that, Dee, and then we'll get your comeback after Bob comments. Briefly, this is a whole issue. The states are constituted by the people, so under state law, they can create incorporated cities and counties. The people. You can go out to the middle of nowhere, start your own city, and then you can hire cops, and then they can go out and give people tickets. But if you do something outside of the law, you get the book thrown at you. Instead, the government breaks the law and doesn't get in trouble because they're engaging in corruption. Citizens' arrest was a lot of towns, even towns that might have had a couple thousand people in them, would have one sheriff, maybe two deputies for 1,000 or more people. But then the sheriff had auxiliary deputies, upstanding members of the community who weren't corrupt, who, if they saw a problem, they would do something. Or even if you weren't, if you saw somebody robbing, you'd go over and conk them on the head if they resisted and citizens arrest. But the government demonizes that because they want a monopoly of power and force. And so that's why in England, where the citizens arrest started under the common law, Magna Carta, they try to demonize people defending, their rights. And if you even punch somebody robbing your house, they arrest you. So they have slowly taught us that we don't have rights. That's why it's important people wear guns in open and have demonstrations doing that, showing people we still have a Second Amendment, because people think guns are illegal in your house now because the TV told them. It's all lies. People think it's the law, you got to take vaccines. We're showing the world it's not the law. We're exposing the hoax, the mind trick. Bob Chapman.
Alex, I can't add much to that because you've covered it all. I think the bottom line is it's very difficult to try to use citizens' arrest today, and you could get yourself in trouble by doing so because of the distortion of law.
Well, who can do something? I mean, just like, I don't know, maybe you guys remember back, I think it was in 2007, Cynthia McKinney was going through the records and, mentioned that there was, $3 trillion missing? And then it just stopped, and that's what happens. I mean, people say something and they object, and then that's the end of it, and then they move on to the next thing to object.
Exactly. That's what tyrants and thugs do. Is once they've trained you to accept corruption, the sky's the limit. Thank you, Dee. It was $2 trillion when Bush got into office. It was over $5 trillion by the time he left. The Pentagon gets up before Congress and says, we're not telling you where the money is. And they literally laugh at Congress. Folks, that's why they've stolen 23.7 in banking the last 10 months. Why not? Why not steal $100 trillion? Why not steal $50 trillion? Why not steal a quadrillion? They don't care. They are going for broke. And what concerns me the most is now they're acting like nothing's going to be left. They're just grabbing, stealing, and then leaving the country. Bob Chapman.
You're absolutely correct. And they're going to keep right on doing it as long as they can do it to enrich themselves before this whole thing collapses as insulation, if you may. And I can assure you, they're not keeping it in dollars. They're buying 4 or 5 mansions, but they're also buying gold and silver. They have to be. What else is safe with their money?
Absolutely. Thank you, Dee. Jeff in Ohio, you're on the air with the fellow that heads up the internationalforecaster.com. Go ahead.
Hey, thanks for taking my call. Yeah, I heard you mention earlier in the program Gary Allen, and I'm curious, though, about, and I appreciate what you're doing, trying to expose, the global elites and all that, but have you ever read Conspiracy, A Biblical View by Dr. Gary North?
I don't believe so, but I've heard of it.
Have you ever? Well, yeah, Gary North. He he is based in Texas, I believe, but it basically, his premise, and I tend to agree, is that, and this is where I'm concerned and frustrated, is that we've been trying for years to try to expose the elites, yet the thing is, I'm kind of wondering if Gary North hit it on the head, because that he contends that exposure is not enough. You know, we tend to think that, you know, if everybody just knew about this, these global elites, they'd do the right thing. He contends, though, that no, that's not necessarily the case. And the thing is, I also remember Edmund Burke says people get the leadership they deserve. And
all right, listen, Jeff, you make a good point. Let's get a comment from Bob Chapman, then you can follow up. Go ahead, Bob.